Why are sex toys being thrown during WNBA games? I am curious to know this myself because I was like, hey guys, are there any news articles you want me to cover today? And everybody's going dildos, dildos, flying dildos, sports dildos, basketball dildos. And I was just kind of like, what? Because I'm not as terminally online as I used to be. I keep saying this a lot. I'm always away out doing other things and doing other stuff. So I had no idea about the court dildos. But yeah, people are turning up to women's basketball games and throwing dildos on the court. And apparently it's got so bad that they're even doing baggage checks, checking people's bags for offending articles of sexual implement nature. And people are still somehow getting them passed and throwing them onto the court. But anyway, multiple pro women's basketball games were interrupted in the past several days after sex toys were thrown onto court, leaving players and coaches frustrated and fans puzzled. Two of the instigators are now facing criminal charges, and the Women's National Basketball Association has condemned such behaviour. This week, members of a Memecoin group, there it is, reportedly claimed responsibility. They've claimed responsibility for the attack, like a fucking terrorist organisation or something, but it's a meme coin group. Anyway, claimed responsibility for some of the incidents in which brightly coloured dildos were thrown onto the court or bench area during games. Players and coaches are concerned about safety and the meaning and hostility behind the incidents. Safety, I mean, if someone like maybe trips over it on the court, yeah, that's kind of not cool, right? Now, it's very, very easy to roll your ankle if you stand on something like that, which, okay, a little bit of a risk there. Safety being thrown, I mean, yeah, something hitting you on the head, especially from up high, you know, that'll definitely do some damage, especially if it's a great big fucking elephant bastard that somebody's thrown, man. That'll give you whiplash if that if that thing hits you from that height. But anyway, the game between the Atlanta Dream and the Chicago Sky was paused in the closing seconds Thursday night after a purple sex toy was tossed from the stands onto the court. While individuals in the stands were reportedly questioned, no one was arrested. The WNBA has said any fan caught throwing sex toys onto the court would be banned from the league and would face prosecution. Oh no. Oh no, I'm going to be banned from women's basketball games. Oh no. Anything but that, please. Please, don't do that. Oh, I'll lose sleep. Being banned from women's basketball. And face prosecution, which, yeah, okay, look, you're disrupting an event that costs like possibly hundreds of thousands, maybe millions to put on, depending the size of the event, and you're disrupting the entire thing. Yeah, I get them pressing charges for that. The exact number of incidents is unclear because in some instances items are thrown but do not reach the court or the bench. Imagine just having really great seats at the front and you just get blasted in the back of the head with a rampant rabbit. That's really put a dampener on the whole day. It's super disrespectful, Chicago Sky player Elizabeth Williams said after a similar incident last week. I don't really get the point of it. It's really immature. Whoever is doing it needs to grow up. I mean, if I was a female player, like one thing that you can do to just kind of own the joke and lean into it is like see the dildo on the ground and then kind of sketchily like grab it and put it in your pocket and then look around. You could do that to lean into the joke. That's the way I operate is, see if you're a part of a funny situation, even if it's an embarrassment to yourself, lean into it and make it funnier. You know, like the laughs are more important. That's why a lot online, a lot of the time, if someone like just does a fucking really good roast to me under one of my tweets, I'll retweet it going, listen here, you little shit, and like being like fake mad. But what I'm doing is, I'll see that guy's reply to my tweet and I'll be like, that's a banger. That's even though it's making fun of me, I'm like, that's a banger. More people should see that. So I'll retweet it, being like, oh, I'm so mad. And everyone, but it's a banger, right? And also, the people that roast me the most aren't the leftists, aren't the communists, aren't any of that. It's all I use, right? And then what I'll do is I'll lean into it and make it funnier. However, then the problem is that kind of encourages it. And whereas me encouraging the roasting of me online is just funny, it's just banter, I'm fine with that continuing. If you do that in the basketball court, that's just going to encourage people to continue to throw the dildos, so maybe not. Like, I mean, it's funny, but don't make disrupting the entire game, you know, like a thing moving forward. Minnesota Lynx head coach Cheryl Reeve called the increasing number of incidents a distraction. I don't know, it depends. Some of those things were quite small. Not worth a second look, you know. But anyway, this has been going on for centuries. What? She told reporters on Thursday, the sexualization of women, right, okay. Right. I thought you meant throwing dildos onto basketball courts. I was like, I don't, I like to consider myself a little bit of a history buff. I don't believe this has been going on for centuries. But the sexualization of women, I mean, it's been going on for longer than that. It's been going on since, like, long before we were, like, walking upright. Do you remember fertility idols? Some of them are, like, 30, 40,000 years old, with the big hips and the big boobies and all that stuff. Yeah, it's been going on for a long time. Like, we've worshipped at that altar for a very, very long time because me have penis. That's what it all boils down to. Why are men overly sexualizing women? Because me have penis. Right? It's literally hard-coded into your DNA. It's why were you looking at that woman's boobs? Sorry, darling. It's just my nature. It's just the way it goes. There was a great big thud there. We've got a deadlift set in the office now. And I believe someone just had a bash at it there. And I'm very happy that they did that while I'm recording. This has been going on. The sexualization of women, this is the latest version of that. And it's not funny, and it should not be the butt of jokes on radio shows or in print or any comments. I mean, yeah, it should. You absolutely should be able to joke about absolutely anything and everything. Right, I've been making jokes about. I use jokes to deal with horrible situations, which is why I've made so many stories about so many jokes about my divorce and stuff like that, because it's funny. I'm sorry, it is. It's quite funny. But anyway, like, you can joke about fucking everything, right? It's if you're trying to say you cannot joke about this thing that I care about. Fucking get over yourself, you arrogant bastard. Right, get over yourself. I'm so special and I'm so cool that no one can joke about me because I'm amazing. Shut up. I encourage jokes about me if they're good. If they're good. Okay, like, most of them are bangers, actually. You lot are actually a lot funnier than me. But anyway, on Tuesday, as the Indiana Fever played the Los Angeles Sparks, a green sex toy landed on the court near Indiana player Sophie Cunningham. I'm just picturing the George Bush. Sir, a second dildo. But anyway, she had posted on social media days before asking the culprits to stop throwing the objects, saying, "You're going to hurt one of us." Again, depends on the size. Because, as they like to say, the big ones just hurt. At first. But everyone's trying to make sure the W is not a joke and it's taken seriously, and then that happens, Cunningham said on her podcast episode on Tuesday. So far, 2 arrests have been made. In Atlanta, Delbert Carver, 23, was arrested and charged with disorderly conduct, public indecency, indecent exposure, and criminal... Yeah, there's children at the games. Yeah, I've changed my mind. Children watch the games. No, don't do that stuff in front of kids. Public indecency, indecent exposure, and criminal trespass after he was accused of throwing a sex toy at a game on 29th of July. The WNBA responded in a statement, "The safety and well-being of everyone in our arenas is a top priority for our league. Objects of any kind thrown onto the court or in the seating area can pose a safety risk for players, game officials, and fans." Which, yeah, if that clocks someone in the head, it'll hurt them a little bit. Again, depends on the size. But the second arrest was Caden Lopez, 18, also accused of throwing a sex toy at a 5th of August game in Phoenix and hitting a man... What did I just say? And hitting a man watching the game on the head. Since the incidents have increased, community members from a Memecoin called Green Dildo Coin... Green Dildo Coin have taken responsibility for some of the disruptions, like a fucking terrorist group. A spokesperson for the group told USA Today that members started throwing green sex toys to coincide with the launch of the Memecoin, which was created the day before the first incident. The group wanted to use the viral stunts to garner attention, they said. And I think other people are doing it just because it's a thing now. We didn't do this because we dislike women's sports or like some of the narratives that are trending right now are ridiculous, the spokesperson said anonymously in a Thursday article. They added that the 2 arrested were not associated with the group. While many of the incidents included green toys, some were other colours, indicating that not all of the incidents were linked to the meme coin. Leaving a little green calling card like the Riddler. Now, this... Okay, it's kind of funny, right? And okay, I really don't give a fuck about women's basketball or women's sports in general. But... yeah, okay, you've had your fun, had a bit of fun, had a bit of a laugh, but don't disrupt games, because people are there to, like, watch it and have a good time, and you're in there and, like, messing it up and stuff like that. Like, that's not fun. Right, hold up signs and all that type of stuff as well, you know, unless you want to go full, like, Balkan football team. which, holy fucking shit, by the way. I want to go to one of those games, actually. Like, I'll admit it looks terrifying, but it looks fun, man. Those guys hold up giant, like 50-meter fucking signs of like politicians hanging from nooses and shit like that, man. I mean, there's fans and then there's Balkan football fans. Like, holy fucking shit. But still, don't disrupt the games and don't fuck things up and all that, right? I realise, yeah, okay, haha, women's sports and all that, who cares? But still, you've had your fun now. Maybe knock it off a little bit.